Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I say evening because it's evening my time, but how are we doing today? That's right, we're here with another cast for you folks, and we have a bit of fun going on here, but also have a wee bit of news. I am going on holiday. Going to be away for a few weeks, basically travelling approximately halfway around the country, over to Europe, pretty much opposite side of the world from New Zealand, so going to have a good fun time over there, but going to be away for a while, unfortunately. Sorry folks, not going to be any casts available during that time, but anyhow, that's really the only news there is. So channel's going to be a wee bit quiet, and well, without any further ado, because there's just all left to really talk about. Anyway, let's jump into this game, get you guys into what you're here for, which is to watch a bunch of guys try to kill each other. Now, we have ourselves a nice little 4v4. It is a ladder game actually, so team matchmaking 4 versus 4, so the ratings are not global rankings, but it looks like a kind of a Joe game with how these guys are rated in this side of things. But anyhow, let's go on, and the map we have for you lovely folks today, we've seen it before. It is adaptive point of reason. Now we do our usual sorting up this direction. Just let me configure all of those, and we'll introduce the players. We're going to have team 1 in the blue corner up the top, team 2 in the red corner down the bottom. And first off, this way for team number 1 down here in the lavender color, he's going UEF and he is Suicidal Command. We'll see how suicidal he might be. Opening the first name factory, getting a single adjacency instead of double. Unusual. You'll see most people will put the factory here to get double mixed adjacency. He's going for just the one. Anyway, his first teammate number 2 for team number 1 is Schlimmerzel. Schlimmerzel is Seraphim, also grabbing that single adjacency. Am I missing a trick? Am I missing something? I thought you should have put it here to get double. Doesn't matter. Third player for team number 1 over here in the front-ish position, and this is Mr. DGA Bothered. Can't really get double adjacency here. The mixes are all spread out, so just going to get one for him. But finally, for team number 1, all the way up here, Aeon in the light blue, also just going for single adjacency, and this is Sagilumini? Sagilumini. I'm a fucking idiot. That's Sage Illumini. Fuck. So this is Sage. Sage Illumini. It's going to be Sage from now on. Annoying. Anyway, he's Aeon and he's getting himself his Hydra up over there. Let's have an introduction of team number 2. Well done, me. This is Sage Illumini. Anyway, first player for team number 2 over here on the right hand side in the orange color UEF. It is Oculi Triangulum, working on his Hydro. Down here from him we have Chisix, and it was Chixes. I see you say Chisix, so it's Chisix now. Too bad that is your name. He is also UEF in the burgundy color. Third player for team number 2 in the front-ish position, it is Mr. Kelmad42. He's Cybran in the yellow color, and on sharing the same island a little bit further back, also Cybran in the red color, it is Rikidiktabi. Never not going to stop liking saying that name. You know, he's Cybran, he's grabbing, got his Hydro down, got his factory down with a couple of BGs and support. Not getting adjacency, oddly, but engineers doing the reclaim business. There we go, and going straight for a naval factory over here. Have a quick check up in this direction, and we can see that Mr. Suicidal Command, well, he's kind of worried about that first bomber. He's got a couple of mobile AA out, one's following his commander. Probably doesn't really need to worry about that guy, but one back here defending the base just in case. And in case of a energy drop, he's got a few mech marines ready to roam the island. Not a terrible idea. Opponents have been known to try and drop this little wee spur here to try and sneak a mass extractor out of there, pop down some factories and do some land raiding. Particularly annoying if you've sunk all your eco into like a navy or something back over this direction, which is quite often what happens. So, you know, drops are something to be concerned about because people do like doing them. Alrighty. Anyway, have a look at the ratings. We do have a 99% balanced game, but it is ladder. That is usually a bit wonky in a way. So it's 944 to 954 on average. Slight advantage to team number 2. But as we see, it is well in the Joe range. We have a maximum of 1200 over here and also a minimum of 660. So just shy of the 700 mark for DGA, but we'll see how that pans out for the guys. Still reasonably even, slight advantage to team number 2. Down here we can see 1, 2, 3 naval factories going down for DGA. So he's wanting to get into the naval game pretty strong, pretty elite. We have an early bomber out here from Naval. I don't know if it's early, it's 3.5 minutes into the game, but it is on its way. Scout is going ahead looking for things like this poor little engineer who's likely to be the recipient of the first projectile that drops from this little guy. Definitely making a beeline towards that. Has been spotted, one would say. In any moment now we'll get our first kill of the game. Going to go to this bomber here and kaboom! One dead engine, right? What else have you got? Well, if the scout has done a scouty things, but I think it has, it's picked up this engineer here, but there is a defending inti from Chiswick. He's going to kill it off maybe. Bombs away, but the engineer stopped just fortunately. Well timed stop, but a queued build order, so, oh, there we go. Oculi paying attention, realised that his engineer did not get to complete the mass extractor, so went back, reclaimed the wreck, now going to build it and queue up the other one instead of running away straight away. His command, oh hello, we mentioned drops and there are drops right here. Ricky Katavi as well as Mr. Calambad, they have a transport each laden with engineers. Yep, just engineers there, so we've got 4 engineers there for Miracle. Sorry, I know it's Mr. Cal, but just see it as Miracle, and Ricky Katavi with another 5 on his commander there. T1 bomber coming over to be just kind of defensive of those rushing these guys, which should now be called into action. There we go, they have been chosen to go that way, but while these guys try and step down a point defense, the commander is already on the way, and that needs to go up a lot quicker for it to actually be worthwhile. It's not going to make it. The comms are already in range, and now the engineers are dead. These guys are trying to flee. Back in this direction, it is Rikitiki. He's just trying to grab the mass extractor first. Don't know what his next move is going to be, but he's going to need to do something because he has incoming radar being stepped on down there by Suicidal. Could see those guys in, but I also hear a T1 bomber, a couple of T1 bombers actually, in the back here just being harassing. So double teaming Suicidal at the moment. It is Ricky and Merkel. They are having a good go on here, and with those 2 bombers, they are going to decimate all the power options. Some AA does come off the ground. That's going to take off this bomber. If they can get the right run on these, they might kill some more. Nope. Maybe if they focused it down, it could have worked, but the AA on the ground is going to keep those alive. That bomber has maybe one more pass on it. These guys here, they're just doing a reclaim mission. They're just stealing trees basically. Nothing going to bother trying to defend. Just grab the mass extractor for a while and then just try and steal as many trees as possible. Bomber carries on over this way. We see was a drop here as well. This has been from Sage Illumini. He's got his factory down. He's got engineers down. You should know everything that's going on with all the inties that are flying overhead. And indeed, there is a band of units here coming out from Oculi. They are moving their way over here, just to be particularly irritating on that front, one would hope. Plenty of units, that should be good. Back in this direction though, it's a bit of a story. We have, there we go, the engineers have finally died. Didn't even try to get down a PD for extra noise or anything, just maybe a distraction, who knows. But there's a submarine out from Suicide and wants to take care of this annoying frigate, which has killed off a bunch of things. One mass extractor, a couple of radars, a couple of engineers. So that has been irritating. There's a factory going down there from Merkel. It is complete. You can actually start building on there. Back over on the other island, these more successful drop from Sage, unfortunately has run afoul of commander, and Sage goes, no, it ain't gonna work. So he control K's his factories and promptly reclaims the mass to try and get as much of that back as possible before he loses it all, because yeah, he wasn't going to get anything else out of that. Gets a little bit back, but in the end also a failed drop. So both sides attempted to drop onto their opponent's islands, and both sides had an issue. Where is this transport going? If it goes too close to these, it could be absolutely disastrous, but I think it's going to skirt the edge of their range just, yes indeedy, and it is actually going straight back here towards the island of Schlimmerzel. There is one AA here, but that's not going to be enough to drop a transport. This is going to make landfall pretty quickly, one would imagine. There we go. Just drops into range now, but it's too late. These guys are down, and they are going to start bombing stuff quite happily. And start destroying things. One payload drops out the anti-air. Sky Slammers having some fun, but they're going to start working their way through all of those. In this direction we see it is frigate versus frigate and submarine, so we're not going to go well there. Still in the water is Merkel. He's way up front with his commander getting an upgrade. Probably torpedo one, would think. Torpedo com right there would be quite nasty indeed. In this direction we do have T2 air available for Schlimmerzel. He's got the T2P Got used to the T2 air factory there. Got some power. No T2 PG yet, but definitely T2 factories do things with sending his commander over. Probably the wisest idea. It's going to be able to take care of those units nice and easily. They've taken out 1, 2, 3 mixers and a few things here, so more of an irritation than anything. So it was all T1. Over on the right hand side we can see Navy has caught right up to Oculi. He's got a whole bunch of frigates in his little bay here. He's got some land that could start doing some damage, but the frigates can just be moved out of range and just mow them down. Rapid fire, rapid destruction. We look at the other island for comparison, no Navy in the way, but Merkel has stealth. That's interesting, stealth but no torpedo. People usually do it the other way around. By the way, he's got stealth in that comms, so that's going to be helpful. Frigates coming in here from Rikitiki, going to put some pressure onto this island. There's been a single Medusa here that's just going to start popping some shells down. And that should be the end of that naval factory. Checking back over the other side, and the frigates are moving away. They're trying to kill off Eco, as they do. Not a bad shout. They've gone right from there, killed off that. Got some more coming this way. They've taken care of that island, and the boy engineer that was sitting upon it, he is doomed. This direction we see the blue units here belonging to Schlimmerzel have pushed Miracle Mad back. He hasn't got much in the way on the water. A lot of his eco went into getting that stealth upgrade. I think he really wants to get a torpedo because that would be an excellent thing to get. Else he's pretty much defenseless in that water, and no real point being there. A factory is building, but it is paused. Strange decision. Okay, have a quick look at the islands. How are we going? We have T2 air, and we have a couple of pigeons going up ready for Chiswick. We have a look at his opponent over this direction, who has... those are nothers. He's going for something with those. Got one T2 pigeon, not grabbing a second, so... but he is making some combat units, perhaps. Or maybe just the one. No start on the T3 upgrade there yet. Back in this direction, it is T2 Air Force Sage, no Navy. But he doesn't need to worry about Navy too much because Navy's doing a great job over here. DGA has very much got Oculi on the ropes, but Oculi coming up with a whole swarm of submarines. Now submarines, of course, they can't be shot at by frigates, but it will take them a while to kill them. So while they lack the DPS of their frigate counterparts, they are basically able to destroy with impunity. There's nothing that those frigates can do against the submarines. They just simply going to gradually get killed. The question is, how many of these factories can they destroy before they get killed? And over this direction we see more frigates inbound. Merkel asks for E. He must be getting the torpedo upgrade. Yes, he is. He's partway there. Maybe 40% of the way through that upgrade. He's going for it. Absolutely going for it, and it will be very useful to have. That will basically be all his power focused into that commander. His frigates being chased away by these submarines and extra frigates off the production line, so Oculi having problems keeping his eco intact. He is missing a couple of... well, maybe not so much. He's missing a pair of the mass extractors. He's got T2 in his core base over here. Maybe he wants to actually get these ones capped. He started to cap them, but then has stopped for some reason. Alright, but having said that, there's a big old scrap going on over here, but the subs are going to be the key units here. Get them just to do some free damage on those frigates and basically scare them away. Do we have any naval tech coming off the rails? 1, 2, no. T2 upgrade has just started there for DGA. No Navy still yet for Sage. We have any upgrades? No upgrades there for Schlimmerzel. We have T2 on available for Suicidal, however. He's got T2 Navy there and ready to go. But torpedo has been done for Merkel, and he can now wander that command around and start taking out all sorts of numbers. It's actually very strong in the tier 1 state, especially if he focuses down. Look at this. There we go. Just constant streams of torpedoes. They just go and go and go. 250 per pop. Actually very, very quick to kill things off, especially the tier 1 stage of things. Over this direction we do have... sorry, that is sonar. That's not a unit, so don't need to worry about it. Just that upgrade going on there. If we have any tech over this direction, we have an upgrade on the way. So it is Oculi has forced these units back, so we can look at rebuilding his eco on that stage. But over this direction we can see, well, Merkel loses his factory up the front here, but he has got a bunch of engineers right here ready to rebuild it if he wants. And of course he does have that torpedo com walking around who can shoo all of this away basically. Over here we see torpedo bombers coming out from Rikitiki, so he's got T2 Navy, but he's not building it. He's got T2 Air just popping out torpedo bombers. There we go, he's just started extra Navy now. Looks like Barracuda out first. T3 Air is available for Chiswick, I saw the T3 scouts going overhead, having a good old look at what you can see. Over this direction we see T3 Air is 90% upgraded for Schlimmerzel. And the question is, well, there's another drop over around the back here, and there's also going to get through because the entities are just a little bit far away, and this island's going to get cleared out. Same composition, got a handful of Tier 1 artillery, got some anti-air, and they'll be able to just clean this island. They won't get much further though, the transport's dead, so they're confined to this region here. No engineers to take advantage of what they destroy. Maybe if he swapped out one of these Medusas for an Engie, he could then look at picking up some of the mass, or even adding to the mass extractors. On the back region here we see T3 Air is on the way for Sage. He's 34% of the way through that. His other part over here is actually right into Navy, so it could be interesting seeing two T3 Air players against one, but stronger Navy focus for team number 2 at this stage. Up this direction we can see, there we go, Merkel doing Mercury things, and he is killing off what he can see with that column, which is not quite reaching this Thunderhead. Must have power issues. I wonder if that was the jamming. I saw a build bar coming up for this frigate, and I'm going to guess that was the actual jamming, because I know they've got jamming. I absolutely know they've got jamming, so was that actually a power issue? Oh, maybe not. I don't know. Do not know, but otherwise that is well known. Right, we have T2 Navy. Nope, no T2 Navy for Schlimmerzel. He's focusing on the T3 Air Factor. He's got first T3 PG going up over there. That's going to be good for him. Over here we don't see any T3 PGs for Chiswick, so he's got T3 Air, but no there's first T3 Engineer. We'll probably see one start building shortly. Yeah, there we go, there's template, so he's a little bit behind on there. He's got the T3 Air first, and there's the Strat. Oh dear. That Strat gets into a sensitive area, it is going to be a problem. Could do some serious damage. Bombs away right into the middle of all of this. 4 T2 mexes with one bomb. Those are very closely clumped together. 18 kills with that. Not just the one bomb killing off all of those, but there are a handful of Engies in there as well. That was a beautiful bomb. He's going to do the same over here, no doubt, but it's not going to kill all of them. This one's T3, so 3 will die. Still massive amounts of eco damage. Oof. Pain indeed. Still though, that is a lot of mass kill being escorted by a bunch of interceptors. There is an ASF out now though from Sage, and that is going to be very, very handy. Shooting down the Strat does a pause order, but the ASF a little bit more clever than that does do a jink and shoot it down still. That's a lot of damage. Big old bombs on those, beautifully done. So nicely clumped together. You want to have that shield, any kind of shield, would have helped keep those alive, but alive they are not, and dead they are. Right, over this direction we can see it is Merkel, and he is still pushing forward with that commander. He can just kill things off at his nice leisurely pace. Question is, can he shoot further than they can see? The answer is yes. I think that's his, absolutely, that is his torpedo bubble. So definitely needs himself to get radar for that. He does have stealth as well, so even if they got sonar, they're not going to see him. They need to have water vision, like one of these boats actually sitting over top of him, or they need to have Omni, but they cannot see this comm thanks to the stealth being very, very sneaky indeed. Right, have a quick check, and over this direction has been a wee bit quiet. It has been Oculi. He's got his power up and looking to throw down a shield gen here. Very wise move after all that. He is working on, he's got T2 Navy there, not a lot of build power beside us, so see how that's going to work out. But here we go, the annoyance begins. It is the cruiser with the attack missiles here from cruiser, just constant attack after attack after attack. Doesn't lob down in volleys, just fires them. So there was something here. I imagine that was a radar. This is not a radar anymore, it's a few wrecks and a soon to be dead engineer. Definitely going to want to try and take care of that, but the focus is on mass. Not too surprising. Getting that nice long range T2 unit out there, and all this wants to come over this direction. Want to try and keep your stuff alive over the Oculi. In the meantime, over in this direction we can see that Well, that was an interesting choice of a place to drop. Bring down some engineers right amongst a bunch of mech marines. Not the grandest plan, sorry, Miracle, that was really not. You just thrown away 3 T2 engineers. Might have been faster to reclaim them actually. But I'm going to think maybe his focus was elsewhere, as in this commander walking up here. Notice how 14 kills a lot of damage. Of course, out comes some torpedo bombers. They're going to help shuffle some of the damage over as well. Going to be one very unhappy looking destroyer shortly. Especially because there's another destroyer over here. So that's going to be a very, very strong force to try and take care of. Plus the torps are still watching around. They're going to throw some extra damage, and I think that's going to be suicidal out of the Navy game. It's going to come with an alternative solution. An alternative could be torpedo bombers from Mr. Schlimmerzel. We'll see how that works, if he's going to switch up to that or not. Over on the right hand side we can see now that Oculi has finally figured out the problem, and he's got I wonder if 1 buzzkill is enough. I think it is. I think 1 buzzkill is enough to stop 1 cruiser. Maybe we need 2. Anyway, we see over here the Navy is going full war, and that is going to be the end of Schlimmerzel. Quickly switch back over this direction. These guys have figured out what is happening, and the T1 T2 army mixes are going on through. Assault cruiser over there is going to have a bad time. Destroyers mixing it up. We see this guy's having fun with the T1, and so is this destroyer. But I think it is going to be a short naval victory for Oculi, and he's now thinking about falling back and destroying this thing off so that it cannot do any more damage. And in this direction, over on this side, we've got a whole bunch of recon that could be grabbed, and that could very well be a Merkel having to go with that attack missile. Out from that, deciding can it actually do some damage? Is he shallow enough? No, it's not. That just explodes on the surface, and Merkel takes no damage. It was close enough to do something, but the accuracy was good, but not on point. If this was me, I would consider getting some engineers here to reclaim all of that. There is T2ID over here though, so maybe the commander would be the better choice to reclaim stuff. T2ID going up here, that is certainly a desperation move from Suicidal. I mean, he is out of the... That transport barely makes it down before it gets swamped by the T1 Inties and is dead. Once again, units are dropped, but once again those mech marines are in play to go do some damage. They're actually going to have a horrible time against that. That was not the wisest move there. Pretty much just throwing some eco away, but everything over here is dying. We do have Merkel sitting here with his comp and scooping up all this mess to go into his coffers. Going to be very helpful. Got a Corsair over here. Maybe that's what's killed off those. Nope. It's got another drop over here from Rikki-Tikki-Tavi, so they are absolutely hammering this island. They are making it very inhospitable for Mr. Suicidal, who is down to this little core base here. He's got a few clean cameras, of course. They can only shoot what they can see at, and when this stuff is under a stealth, they can't actually see it to have a shot. Do we have another cruiser over here? But the cruiser's going to have a tough time against a destroyer and a Barracuda. Not going to be good for their health. Right, this is Merkel. Still underwater with his comm. What has he done in his base? Well, he's got T2. Looks like he's just going for drops. He's got T2 Navy, but maybe focusing on drops at the moment. Here come the torps. Maybe they're going to be having a look for Merkel. Maybe they're going to go for the units here. No, it looks like they're going for the units. Here, torps have dropped straight on past. They are focused on the subs first. And Merkel needs to be careful because there's not a lot. There's not a lot to help him out here. There's no cruisers. There's no air to help. He has got a cruiser back here coming on in. Maybe he wants to duck out of the water for a moment if they spot him. At the moment, the focus is on the Salem. Maybe that's the wise choice for the moment. Get rid of that because Merkel's stuck with torpedoes, whereas the Salems, they do have their ranged weaponry to bombard the land side of things. And here comes the cruiser. Will it be enough? Will they switch up to Merkel in a moment? And finally, some shots are going away towards the torpedo bombers. A couple of salvos will knock those out of the sky. Merkel's still trying to run away. The cruiser needs to be careful of the T2RD over here. If that focuses it down, it's going to have a bad old time. It needs to do some twisting, dodging, and ducking before it gets absolutely plumbed. Got a pair of those here, and Solace is out now. Oh dear. Solaces are a big old danger for Merkel, whose comp is still up the front. I feel like he could maybe pop out of the water. and be safe. There's nothing here to actually threaten him. But now there is a whole lot of ASFs. This Nautilus is going where exactly? I don't know, it kind of stopped and died. I think it was trying to find a target, but no dice on that front. Flying over some cruiser fire is not good, but it will stop the drop that was going to happen. That would have been a nasty drop too. Up in this direction might have actually been able to take care of the mech marines and then do some extra damage on here, but off the coast we have another Salem doing its thing. Maybe it can take the shields down? Nah, shield's too strong. Too much in the way. Needs some kind of assistance like a Corsair would do it, I guess. Although the Corsair's going for the mass extractor. Yeah, curious choice, although there's no flak around, so we can actually survive for quite some time. Big old swarm of torpedo bombs going for this cruiser. That's their cruiser. Might lose a few torpedo bombers doing it, but actually that's probably the best target to go for. The Cybran cruisers may be the worst for anti-air. They have very slow rate of fire for, and their projectiles are very slow. So you can actually get quite a lot dropped before the ordnance catches up with your torpedo bombers. Over here it is still Merkel up front with this commander, just rotting around. I think he's just reclaiming mass at the stage. No, not even doing that, just going for a wander. Just going for a wander. Has he been spotted? Do they have Omni to pick him up yet? I don't think they do. Let's have a quick look-see. Well, they do have Omni. There it is. Is the Omni tower been slapped down so they can actually see him? And that means torpedo bombers ahoy, and they're going straight for Merkel's commander, who now needs to consider his position in the world is not there. He does not want to be there. He is, but he's going to need to either... I would think about coming out of the water for a moment, just to get rid of the target, because right now he's completely useless, down into the yellow, 11,000 health. And we've been focusing so much on this guy and his little individual battle over here. We have a quick check over the other side of the map. Well, nice Navy station here from Oculi. Got some shield boats there. Got a bunch of destroyers, cruisers. He should be okay. On the right hand side, plenty of T3 air up and land for Chiswick. Look at that. Whole lot of air factories are coming along. And Merkel, though, down to 5,000 health. He's not going to be long for this world. Have a look at that. There is plenty of torpedo bombers around the place, but in come the ASFs. Those are in there from Shizza. Also, the interceptors are in from Mr. Rikki-Tikki-Tavi, trying to take him out, and he gets out with just under 3,000 health, so not looking too bad. But in comes a Solace and another torpedo bomber. That's going to be it. Surely that's going to be it. That Solace does a lot of damage. In come the torps onto him there. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Almost got out, but it was the Solace, single Solace T3 torpedo bomber that came in, finished off Mr. Merkel. Here's the first ejection from the game at 24-minute mark, and that is a big old naval presence taken out of the game. All his stuff is transferred over to, looks like Shizza. Nope, and Shizza has gone, no, I don't want it, and given it straight over to Rikki-Tikki-Tavi instead to take command of. Over this direction we can see, well, there's Governors. Governors are alright as far as anti-air goes, but for groups of T2 torpedo bombers, you actually find the Seraphim destroyers are really good because they have flak and they can destroy them in giant clumps. But there's been so much damage done over here to DGA's base. He has lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mixes. I think they're all T2 maybe? I think that might be afterkill from the TAC missiles landing after what they destroyed, but now he's got some TMD down, and on TMD it's not going to get beaten very easily. Over this direction, the T2 Navy has had a brawl with DGA's T2 Navy, and looks like maybe a bit of a stalemate with a huge dump of mass on the doorstep of DGA, so if you can get some engineers out there to clean up. But he's got T3 Navy. That is a Yathosa. Yatho? That's a, it's T3 sub, so he's got T3 Navy available, and this is a pick an experimental. Pick one. You see a miscommunication going on here. We have a Tempest going up for DGA, but we also have a Tsar going up for Sage. At this point, you really want to team up and try and finish off one or the other. An experimental at this stage would be quite powerful indeed. Back over this direction, we see that the Navy has successfully pushed Rikki-Tikki-Tavi back. He's sending some engineers up there. He wants to try and grab some of that reclaim. I say try, he's actually going to succeed in getting a whole bunch of it. Or maybe not. That's an absolute brutalization. There was a handful of engineers getting some of the reclaim, but just too many tactical missiles swarming in, and those things are doomed. Over here we see more torpedo bombs coming on in. They're going for the wrong target, so trying to kill off subs when their cruisers in the mix is strangely seems to be focusing on the submarines. No shield boats in this mix though, so these guys are protected from any kind of shots. T2 Navy is of course available for Schlimmerzel, has been for a while because he's had things like this out ready to do his thing, and he can maybe focus down the T2 factory, question mark. Indeed he could, if he can get Schlimmerzel out of the water even for just a little bit, would be nice and handy. But here we go, he is actually turned around to focus down onto the enemy units, kill off the destroyers of course, now leaving free to do that. The destroyers are the biggest threat, focus him down, and your DPS will be taken right out of the game, which is a great idea, and will mean he is free to do a lot of damage here. But T2 Navy also back here for suicidal. He's actually just going T3. He's going T3 Navy. In comes the wall of Seraphim cruisers though. And those tactical missiles are basically a useless till you die, but it is 2 versus 1 in the water for Oculi. He's the only one with a naval presence in the middle, and he's pushed over here to do some damage to Schlimmerzel, but now it is getting flanked out by DGA, who's coming in with his own navy. I think he'll be okay. Seems to have a decent number of destroyers, and they can take a couple of salvos and to knock these guys into death. Definitely want some shield boats in that mix though. Shield boats would be grand. Alright, see here, kind of forward still, these cruisers here will just lob missile after missile. A static navy is a dead navy. Here we go, look at this, the T3 sub hunter has been spotted and it's going to be picked on. A bunch of torpedo bombers decide, we don't like you, and that is actually going to be the end of that guy. A very good pick, even if he loses those torp bombers, which he will, flying over 4 cruisers. But that T3 sub was a very solid pick. Over here we see the navy coming back up from Rikitiki. He's decided that, you know what, I don't want you in the water. Tried to keep Suicidal out of the water, but he's back here building a battle cruiser. So plenty of assistance on that. He's got a lot of eco here, but the more he loses, the less production and eco he has to put into that battleship. And now there are just a whole bunch of destroyers, a whole bunch of cruisers, and just look at the payload going down right into the middle of Suicidal's base. He's trying to get out of there with his commander, I think. I don't know if they're going for the commander yet. Some shots are hitting them, so maybe there are some focus on there, but also going for that. If that pops down, oh, the shield blinks back on just in time. Maybe they should have killed the shield generators, but they don't take long to fall back down again. The T2 PGN explodes, does a lot of damage to the clink hammers. Maybe that'd be a good thing to kill. Get them to stop banging on your navy, but still there's a lot of damage on there. It's going to slow things down significantly. This direction, lots of torpedo bombers, they're having to go there, but DGA does finish off. Here we go, he's made the Tempest. The Tempest is done, and that is an issue, and he's got a battleship, so where is he getting his eco from? He's done that on T1 mexes. I don't think he's been building anything else. Has he been reclaiming? Maybe he hasn't. He's still got this giant mass field here, but anyway, he's got a Tempest, he's got a battleship. That is a dangerous thing to have floating around your base. Up here we see now Rikitiki has made it to the front belonging to Schlimmerzel, and there's not much to slow him down. Got a stray battle cruiser doing his thing. He has abandoned destruction of Suicidal's base, where there's a whole lot of reclaim here now. And he is just moving his navy up in this direction. Just wants to carry on going and just try and wreak damage before that battle cruiser gets in range. Commander has him spotted, he's got some barracudas bearing down on him there, just lobbing off their torpedoes. Commander is definitely not enjoying that. Down 4,700 health, should be okay though. And these guys up here, well, they're no match for a battle cruiser. It should be able to take them out quite easily, especially because they're mostly cruisers. But they have a lot of ground firepower, being Siren cruisers, and they are just decimating what's up. If they make it over here, they could do some delicious damage to this infrastructure. Get them to focus, get them to focus on the T3 PGs in particular. There we go, the shots are coming in, and this is danger for Mr. Schlimmerzel. His T3 airbase is under threat. Pop goes one T3 PGN. Focus on this one here would be a great idea, but it doesn't matter. This one's going to go pop in a moment, take a whole bunch of things with it. Extra shots landing in, and there is his air grid going down. He's just got his T3 air HQ left. There's another PGN here that could die. maybe if we focus it on, but no, the cruisers move on. They are wary of that Neptune. They don't want to get too close to it. But that is the air grid. Oof. 3 T3 PGs and 3 T3 factories done. But the story over here of the Tempest, which was coming on up, was greeted by a giant, incredibly massive swarm of torpedo bombers, and they have swarmed it down to less than a third health. And ASFs do come in, there's cruisers in the way as well, but it's not going to be enough. They're going to get their extra bombs away, and that's one dead Tempest. It got, frankly, fuck all done. Maybe killed that. Maybe could have with units, but that's one very expensive method to kill off just a few things belonging to Oculi, and the torpedo bombers are still around, of course, and they can start bombing the... Looks like they're going for the battleship, perhaps. But they're now getting absolutely crunched up by the flak. Maybe we should have had the cruisers with their flak in front of the Tempest, but look at that. That's now ready. Now it's going to be engineer scooping time. In fact, there's a couple of engineers right here. Might as well start scooping right away. How's that Tsar coming? Slowly. Kind of slowly. Over this direction, and there we go. It is the destruction of the everything. One single destroyer off the coast is bombing away. There's a clink hammer here. I don't know if I can see it because it's not turning to shoot because there's a stealth ship in the way. We see torpedo bombers coming up to the top left. They are hunting something, perhaps. I don't know if they are. They just seem to be flying up around the back, having some fun over this direction. It is looking pretty good for team number 2. It has to be said. They've managed to oust Suicidal off his own island there. They've got engineers stealing the mass. Of course, big swarm of engines here belonging to Suicidal. They're doing their thing. Hearing... Yes, I am. I was hearing a nuke sub. I recognize those tech missile sounds. It is lobbing us very, very long-range attacks against anything it can. Got to think that maybe you want to bring these guys back and kill off the engineers to stop them scooping the mass, and then take the mass for yourself, but they're doing what they can, and they're grabbing all of this mass and putting it into something. Well, into another battlecruiser by the look of it. That is almost done. Over here we see PGN and T3 mass fab. Yeah, why not? Get this done. Get the battlecruiser done, and then switch into the mass fab itself, and that should be handy. This poor old battlecruiser, well, I say poor old battlecruiser, it's actually going to be fine. Now let's take out the stealth ship. You can see these guys easily, and double battlecruiser damage, and these destroyers are toast. Easily they are toast. Sticking strong over this side though, plenty of cruisers, so you don't want your navy to sit still. Going some counter cruiser fire there from the slot that are moving past. The engineers are still not reclaiming. But they did reclaim the Tempest, sorry, I take that back, but there's still a whole lot of mass here. There's 12,000 by 15,000 mass in this kind of area here, just waiting to be reclaimed, and these engineers are static. They're absolutely static, not doing anything. Oh, there we go, now they're fine, they're moving. There we go, there goes the reclaim, there goes the orders. But over in this direction, the cruisers have snuck their way around the back with a couple of destroyers, and they are just laying waste to the back of Naval's base. So the left-hand side is going absolutely beautiful for team number 2. They are winning over their side, but experimental number 2. We now have a Tsar in the skies. Now, I don't think they really own air at all, to be honest. Let's have a quick look at the ASF count. We have Chizza, who has 126 ASFs in the skies. We have 19. And we have 11. So, no. They definitely do not have air, and that Tsar is now scouted. They know it exists. Thanks to that little flyby there, they're staring straight at it. Of course, it's outside radar range. I think that's the only radar we've got. There's a T3 hiding over here somewhere. The Tsar is up and it is ready to go. The question is what they're going to do with it. Where are they going to send it? Maybe it's just building? Nope, not even building. They're starting up another Tempest though, and that's actually going up pretty darn quickly. I'm not going to imagine it's owing to a whole lot of reclaim going on here. Yes, indeed, a lot of engineers doing their thing. We have mass being sent over to Sage, who is building another battlecruiser, sorry. He's trying to get a whole bunch of battlecruisers up, but now he has battleship issues. Galaxy class battleship here from Rika Takitavi is slamming his payload down towards these guys, and that's one very unhappy battlecruiser. Battlecruisers do not fare very well against battleships in the slightest, and sitting still while it pummels them from range is not a good plan. Over here we can see that, well actually, Little Sarge decided he wants to try and hold the spot, so he's going to throw down some point defense as the Mantis comes swarming in from Ricky, so that must mean there's factories over here, there's factories over there. Can they kill off the engine? Oh, they're not going to. Engineers finish off a T1 PD, and then they think, oh wait, that should be inside the shield, and that's where it goes. Next one goes. Mantis is busy trying to kill off engineers, whilst this T1 PD has a go at killing off the Mantis. Some engines are under the shield, so we should be okay on that front. That'll be ideal. Over this direction, the ACFs are doing some escort missions over this because no reason, just some escorts. The Tsar is on the move. It is coming out to the right. He's got some air escorts, but not that much. And you can see here that DJA has managed to rebuild his base quite a bit actually. He's got T3 mixers back, he's got plenty of TMD around the place, all that kind of thing. And the Tsar is going to go say hello. ASFs are being thrown away here to kill off the torpedo bombers. They won't last too much longer. Especially, oh wow, that's a lot of torps. There's a lot of torps. They don't want to be sitting on the ground while attack missiles are coming in. In come the ASF's wing from Chiswick to try and keep these guys alive. Going to do exactly that, but just this one solitary. Oh, they know it's there. They absolutely know it's there. I just wonder if maybe they could. Hold up. T3 arty, yes indeedy. So right up the back here we see Chizza has made a T3 artillery, and it is starting to rain pain down this direction. Yes indeedy. Pain is the right word. The shells are going to land down upon poor Sir Jellum's base. He's going to need to try and help keep that alive. He's building a GC in the water, and there is a Tempest ready to go, but not doing anything. Over this direction we can see that the Mongoose, they're having some fun. One's being reclaimed by an engineer. That's ambitious, little Mr. Engineer, but if the Mongoose doesn't notice, it will actually die. That would be a massive scalp for that team energy to kill a Mongoose, but it's not going to work. So close. So very, very close, but not enough. Battleship is over here though. It's going to wreak havoc on this kind of front. It's going to get, not going to get anything done. The battle cruisers are patrolling around trying to keep things alive. Another one is coming off the rails. Plenty of TMD here stopping those missiles coming, but there's Cybrin. They do split when they get shot. Over on the right hand side, and there we go. There's Tsar still just sitting there, not doing a heck of a lot, just waiting, biding his time, waiting for a chance to strike. We see the Tempest is sitting back here doing nothing. Just absolutely nothing. We see the GC is about 2/3 done. So it is on the way, all the focus is on there. Where is the T3 arty hitting? There's the shell. Strategic launch. And a nuke out. Ah, battleship nuke. Didn't see the launcher because it was sitting as part of the battleship, but where is it going? Let's have a track of that missile. Oh dear. I saw the red ping just a moment ago. It is going straight for Oculi. Can he get away in time? I don't know. That nuke is coming pretty darn fast. And that could be also a lot of eco. There's the nuke. Is rolling on down. No, he's not getting away from that. That's going to be his HQ. All this eco is going to go absolutely pop along with Oculi's comms. So a grand old destruction right there. Oculi and his main amount of eco is absolutely wrecked. The T3 PGs, there's a T3 HQ, all those mass extractors there, everything dead. And while it's been handed over, in fact there goes the attack on Tsar. They don't like to decide to finally strike onto that. Tsar gets knocked out of the sky nice and easy. I mean, he did have what, you know, 100 watts ASFs compared to fuck all. You don't want to chase that. You do not want to chase that, Sag. Just go for the torps. If you try and chase this airwing, you will die. It will turn on you and you will lose absolutely everything. But what was left of Oculi's base has gone over to Chiswick's, which includes a T3 HQ. Gets to work on a battleship right away. Now, T3 arty still doing its thing. That is lobbing its payload over. This direction we see. Oh, there is an SMD and it was loaded, so he wouldn't have been able to nuke over here. That would have been absolutely safe. Trying to get. That's interesting, a little pattern. Curious to build the shield generator last. Just leaves us all exposed in the meantime. But in this direction it is again. An experimental that didn't get much done, and now it is ready to be reclaimed as a single rover, doing exactly that. Anti-air aircraft carrier coming out because they don't have air. The Galactic Colossus is on the walk, it is ready to go. The second one's actually not that far off. And the Tempest back here, DJ's comms run away by the way. Tempest back here still not doing anything. Should get involved. Right. The Colossus is going to be interesting. If it can make landfall, in fact if it can sneak past any of this and get back here, it could do a significant amount of damage over here. Broadswords coming out though. Broadswords are quite nasty to Colossus. Colossus doesn't really have an answer for that. It's basically a walking dead thing. Battleship has got lots of ranks of infantry. Thanks to that nuke in come a handful of torpedo bombers. They won't last too long because, you know, flak. And I'm not even sure what they got. I think they've got a couple of cruisers, but either way, this merry band of ships is still very much happily alive. T3 Arty is, well, looks like it's just really being a nuisance. But anything else hasn't managed to get through anything yet by the look. I don't see any destroyed items. More shields going up, of course, and they will help defend against that. So single artillery isn't going to get a heck of a lot done. It's really just a nuisance factor, I'd say. Probably just a nuisance factor. An Arty is pretty easy to defend against. You get a few shields, even assist one, or even if they just rotate on when they actually switch on and regenerate. Generally, this should be fine. Second GC is on the way, so we have one GC all the way up the front here. We have a second GC on the walk. That should be interesting. Keep an eye on that. Over here, this spot is just being an absolute holdout by the look of it. But I think it's finally going to go on down. The cruisers and and the battleship finally crack this down, but incoming battle cruisers up this way, they're going to go murder some stuff, including all these T1 frigates. Battle cruisers are a great answer to T1 frigates. They have nice range, they have the capability to switch targets when the next one dies, and they're rapid fire, unlike the battleships which take their time in between shots. Another nuke goes out. This time it is from the strategic nuke submarine. And where's its payload going for? Right over here. The question is the SMD. Well, the answer is no. There's no SMD, and that is going to drop right plumb on the head of Suicidal. And I don't think he's going to survive that. I know the naval nuke does a bit less damage, but that's still a lot of damage to be trying to survive with. The commander's got 15,000 health, yes, but it's not enough. That is one dead commander. The Naval HQ survives, just barely, 982 health left on that guy. Over here, Schlimmercell does survive with this commander though, and more critically, his actual air HQ survives as well. He gets his strategic missile defense up, and now needs to focus on getting some energy up, get some shielding up, try and sort that. Air comes over there from Chiswick as the Navy pushes in here from Ricky, so some good old support going on that front. We have the first GC is making landfall, and that is going to be some excessive pain for everything it walks past. With the other GC, it is on the way. And the question is, what can they do about this? Well, the answer is they could do broadswords. Where are the broadswords? There's the broadswords, and the broadswords are coming. And that's a lot of broadswords. That is going to be one very dead GC very quickly. Once those things get in range, the question is, how much damage can it do before they turn up? Kill off the T3 HQ would be a fantastic idea. Then get back into the water so the broadswords can't kill you. Hoovering up these guys at the moment. Now it's going to maybe focus the HQ down. Going to kill the battleship first. A strange choice. Kill the HQ. Just focus the HQ. There we go. That's better. And HQ is going to plummet. The health is going to disappear on that. But just as the health is disappearing on the GC, it has taken an absolute battering from those broadswords. There's also a single battleship over here, and I don't think it's going to survive. Unless it can get underwater, that GC is not going to survive. Going to kill off the battleship? Maybe. Battleship is dying slowly, but GC is dying a lot faster. And it's not going to make it underwater. I don't think. Nope. Water is not deep enough. GC dies. But there is a second one somewhere. Here it is. The question is, they're just going to walk it up straight through the middle again? Do they know it's there? They know something's there, but not recognizing just exactly what it is. The broadswords move away, on what would be an easy kill. Not even scouted yet. Over this direction we see there is a counter T3 RT has been built by Sage that is throwing its payload in this direction. The question is, what is it throwing its payload towards? It is locking on down. I think it's, oh dear, this wildly, massively exposed air grid belonging to Chiswick is under T3 RT fire. That is not good for your health. If those shells land and destroy that, that's going to be detrimental to basically absolutely everything. The GC is a walking, it's coming as well. It could do even more damage because all the broadswords have fucked off to the left side of nowhere. Now they're a big old danger of course, but a GC is also a massive danger to your base. There's nothing on the ground to stop that. GC is just going to keep walking on through. Just walking straight on through. First thing it does is kill off some eco. That is a big warning. One shield has dropped down. There are more shells coming in. Yes, there are. What are they going for? Oh, maybe they're going for this. Maybe they have another nuke loaded somewhere that they can use. The GC seems to be making a beeline for it. If we can kill off this and the HQ, it would be a huge success. But broadswords have tuned up. It is focusing the SMD is down. Needs to take some steps forward though. Busy shooting the there we go. Is busy shooting the hill for a little bit, but down is going to go the T3 HQ as well. Killing that off would be good. Although we're going to switch up to the power. Because the power will explode and kill off that. There we go. Kaboom, kaboom. Down goes the T3 HQ for Chiswick, so he's out of the air game. Only what he's got left. A nuke is launched. Yes, indeed, they were killing off the SMD, so a nuke could go down. That's going to be the end of the T3 RD. There belonging to Chiswick, so the nuke has come from a battleship. It might lose the battleship getting that nuke out. The GC does die, but not for a load of damage to Chiswick's base. He has absolutely lost air production. No T3 HQ there. The nuke is going to land, explodes entire place up this direction. That is absolutely gone. Has built a rush SMD over here. Kind of needs it to be honest, but T380 can still round on down. Back into the middle we have a look, and the Navy is having a grand old time fighting each other. The aircraft carriers are a wee bit tanky I guess, but they're having some fun against battleships. Not really. One battleship over here. Tempest is rocking on down, finally getting into the battle there. Plenty of T2 Navy in here as well. Some shields to jump into the mix to keep things alive. Destroyers doing their bit, extra damage onto there, so massive naval fight in the middle here. And with the Tempest in the mix, it might actually just be going the way of Team 2. A Tempest can land her shots, be doing some brilliant hurt there. Ooh, crunch into that battleship. Not good for your health, and as soon as it dies, this is a big chunk of firepower out of the game. Still got one battleship up here, still got the Tempest with those shots coming in, and lands square on that bit of water. Bit of a miss, but in this direction, hello the broadswords, they are making their way up. The question is, what have they got to slow them down? There is a Tsar. There's a lot of ASFs. Where are the ASFs belonging to? There they are. I was about to ask where were Chiz's ASFs, so they're right there. They're running a fighter screen for the Tsar, but it is the broadswords that are the big play right now, and they are coming straight on in. We're going to kill off the pingers on the SMD. And the broadswords are coming over. They are focusing on, well, I think they want to kill off that T3 RD first by the look of their patterning. However, there's a lot of air in the region. However, most of it is belonging to team number 2. And the artillery is down. The SAMs are going down in record time. So, how many broadswords is that? Sorry, I should have. 70 broadswords. 70 broadswords, and they are just mauling everything in sight. There's nothing left to stop them. The SMD goes down, the RG's down, the SAMs are down, all the build power is dying, all the production is dying, everything is just getting absolutely obliterated. The donut dies to the ASS back over here, and that is all she wrote for that. And now there's nothing really to stop these airs throwing us back over this direction. Down goes the support commander, nice and quick. Where is the Sage's common right there? He's nice and safe under the water. Back into the middle, even as all that was going on, then there's a naval win, because DGA pulled all his units back here to try and help with the air problem, but left the Tempest alone. It has been getting peppered by 4 battleships. I mean, it might be a Tempest, but damn, that's rough. That is absolutely rough. Some battleships come out here though from Mr. Schlimmerzel. They are trying to get assist in the game, and could maybe be a bit of a help with the broadswords. Here they go. They are now roaming. It feels like they've been building up towards this broadsword rampage of everything. They have wiped Stage's base. They have left, curiously, left the base of DGA alive, so he can still produce stuff. Sage does have a whole giant handful of support commanders, so it wouldn't be too bad. Over this direction, there we go. Broadswords have caught up to the air grid belonging to Schlimmerzel, and that is just romping straight over everything. There's a whole lot of flak, but there's just too many broadswords. Too many broadswords. And everything is just gone. Explosions aplenty, broadswords aplenty, just obliterating. That is the air game out for team number 1. There's commander in the water, of course, with T3 can throw up SAMs, but yeah, not going to do much with that many broadswords left. Bad times for team number 1. They thought they had done a great job over here, but they did do a great job over here. They destroyed the T3 HQ belonging to Chizza. They got rid of a good giant chunk of the air grid. They killed off the T3 RT that was over there, but there we go, T3 HQ has been rebuilt. On the left hand side though, things just kind of carry on, and some anti-air here getting 3 kills against these units. Of course, now they're sitting on the ground, that's not good for their health. SAM lights up again as they come along, but they'll just waltz over this quite happily, really, and you know, enjoy. We have another nuke out this time. It is, well, we're going right here actually. 1, 2, 3 naval production, and where's it coming from? Is that another naval nuke? I can't even see it. Oh, up there. Wow. A surprise nuke from that direction. I was looking at the bottom, but there's, yeah, some T3 any HQs. Nope, they're all support factories, so there's a T3 HQ hiding somewhere else. But that's going to all die anyway. Kaboom, down goes that. Not that he really had anything he could do. Add some mass production, yes, but no power. So we couldn't really produce much out of those. Broadswords, once again, just come and tidy up over this direction. And they're probably going to move their way over here to carry on with that front. The middle navy looks like it's stalled, kind of. We have the Tempest looking pretty happy. Another nuke sitting out there. Where's that from? That is standard nuke launcher out from Rikkitikadavi, jumping in the nuclear demolition game, and, well, I don't see an SMD. Lots of TMD, like, lots of TMD. Unfortunately, TMD can't shoot down SMD can't shoot down. Of course TMD can't shoot down SMDs. They can't shoot down a nuke either. And a nuke is what's coming. And a nuke is what's going to land. And a nuke is what's going to take out all the Seco. Mass destruction. Absolute mass destruction. This has actually left Team 1 in a very bad position. They have lost a lot of eco. They don't have any nuke defense. They have... What are we working on here? They're still trying to build navies. They haven't given up just yet. Chizza, though, finishes an experimental satellite. Of course. Satellite is done. But still back here we have a naval sub just building up its nuke. We have a commander in the water as torpedo bombers turn up, and Schlimmerzel is running for the water. No, he's not going to make it. He's not going to make it. He's running for land, but there's too many torps. They're going to come in. There goes Schlimmerzel. He is taken out of the game. Torpedo bombers have found him, even if it got out. So there was Navy pushing as well. That would have been a terrible, terrible time. It's now down to pretty much the main forces of DGA over here trying to hold off the Navy. Perhaps they could find something where these guys get pushed through a chink in armor somewhere. There's no real T3 Navy in the water to compete against. They could actually maybe make some work, but the satellite's coming overhead. There's not a lot left Ooh, nuke out. Where's that one going? Going over here towards Chis's base. Well, the big question on everybody's mind is that SMD loaded? The answer is yes, it's loaded. It's got 2 missiles in it. That nuke is not going to land. Unfortunate for those guys. They don't know that got rebuilt. It has been long enough. You'd think that they'd recognise this. The effort was made. It did not succeed. Is there SMD there over here? There is. Not loaded. Could have nuked this here. Could have nuked this here. So in actuality, Rikki-Tikki-Tavi was open to be nuked, while Chizza actually had his one loaded. So unfortunate choice there. Could have done some good damage over this section, particularly in this region. All this power. Had the quantum gateway, had the nuke launcher itself. Oh, sorry, no, that's not loaded either. So 2 SMDs belonging to Rikki-Tikki-Tavi, but neither one was loaded. Could have absolutely done some damage on that side of things. Alright, we see Satelliters over here just doing some tidy up, just looking for individual little targets to go for. Bunches of reclaim onto that wreck, trying to get some mass for who knows what. Up this direction we see there is a nuke sub over here. I think it's been spotted. No, this just happens to be where these torpedo bombers are going. They were staging here. They weren't actually actively looking for it. They were just staging, and oh, that's unfortunate. They just happened to spot it. There's another nuke sub in this direction. There's a big old handful of support commanders. But I think they have spotted Sage. Sage pops out as ASFs. He wants to try and keep his commander alive. He might actually. Ooh, no, I think that's going to be borderline. That's a lot of torpedoes. Ah, boom. Sorry, borderline. That was easy destruction. Easy destruction Sage. More than enough torpedo bombers to take care of him. This leaves just DGA on his lonesome. Where is his commander? I think that's him right there. Yes, indeed, DGA's comm is right there. Lots of GGs being thrown. I think we'll see DGA do a surrender here. There's not a lot more he could do. It was a valiant effort from Team 1. They almost came back with some of the plays, losing some experimentals for very, very little game. In particular, the donuts, 2 donuts that got nothing done really. Tempest, they came out this way, got a couple of kills and failed. Didn't anything. So this one did a much better job. 240 kills. Sorry, 36 kills, 61.6 thousand mass destroyed. Nuke is planned on down on DGA, who's not bothering to move his comm, but I think might be okay from that nuke. He's far enough away if he gets his walk on, plus it's a naval nuke. And he's underwater, so it should help be protected a little bit more. But he's going to lose a lot of production either way. Nuke lands on down and boom. Doesn't actually kill the Naval HQ. Didn't even damage DGA. Okay, they weren't going for him. They were just going for the production. Alright, torpedo bombers come out. They say hello and say goodbye to an aircraft carrier. A curious choice. There's lots of aircraft carriers. There's a lot of aircraft carriers, and those torpedo bombers got like 1 pass. Wow. And the aircraft carrier lives. Okay, those aircraft carriers have some nasty anti-air, but in this direction we have more torpedo bombers. And where is DGA's comm? Over here. He's kind of like skirting on the edge of land and water. Not sure what his plan is. In come the torpedo bombers, but they're going to lose targeting because he's out of the water. Oh, they go for the sonar. They went for the sonar instead. He pops out of the water for a moment, gets lasered a little bit. Torpedo bomber swinging back around, trying to find more targets, but the anti-air from the aircraft carriers is strong, and this is a bad place to park your ASFs. They are just going to get reamed. All of these damaged to... oh, good lords. Actually, they're going to have a bad time as well, flying too close to a whole bank of flags. Going to take massive amounts of damage. Nukes are planned. Could this actually get DGA? No, he's going to jink off to the right, so he's making it difficult. He's not going to make it easy for his opponents. He's fighting to the end and trying to get out of it, but in comes another wave of torpedo bombers. This time they should be able to get him. He's going for land. No shields under him. Lots of anti-air, but there's a lot of torps. A lot of bombers, and they are going to get through, and I think that's going to be DGA. That's a lot of torpedoes. Yes, down into the red, and kaboom. Final player for team number 1, DGA, gets taken out. A stubborn resistance until the end, but almost. I'd like to say I thought Team 1 fought well. They almost came back. They did some gambling, like put some eggs in particular baskets. Wanted to try and make a difference. Really, nearly paid off with taking out a lot of Chiz's base. They took out the T3RD. They took out a lot of the air grid, but not before he had a massive band of broadswords, and they were building up with those for quite some time before they used them. Sorry. 25 kills for this mongoose, 3,283 mass killed. What a little hero. Because he just stood there and killed engineers all day, every day. Anything that came close, he killed it off. My word. That is one very, very efficient mongoose. Sorry, just got to laugh at that. He's still sitting there quite very much alive. Not even killed by any navy that happened to drive by. Nothing came in range. Wowza. Impressive. What's so? Over here, what's this? Particularly maybe getting cloak, I don't know. But there we go, folks. That is this game over. It was a hard fight. Team 1 gave it their best, had some very good moments, could have tipped the tide in a few moments, a few stages, but unfortunately not quite able to capitalize on the damage they did on the right. Couldn't quite take over. They had no supporting forces after they did the massive dent in Chiz's base. The T3RD unfortunately couldn't break on through much more. The broadswords came and take care of that. The broadswords really were the game ender once they romped on through it, particularly when they wiped through Sage's base up here. That was pretty much it. They simply didn't have enough to slow those things down, and that was the game. Started the collapse at that point. But well played, good game all round, and there we have it, folks. That's going to be this cast from me. Thank you all for watching. Have yourselves a wonderful day, morning, evening, night, afternoon, whatever time zone you're in. I'm going on holiday. I'll see you in a few weeks. Have yourselves a wonderful time. Farewell.